So welcome everybody. We're gonna make some cards today. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have just, create and have fun and do all those fun things. So welcome. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button, and to hit the thumbs up, the hearts, the whole 9 yards. Hello, Danielle. And please leave comments. I'm happy to comment on either live videos or also if you watch this recorded, I'm happy to comment on that. All right, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna switch the camera around and we're gonna get started with the videos we're making, or the cards we're making today, not videos, cards we're making today, which are all about how to use your border dies. So I've got 3 different ways and 3 different concepts of how you can use your border dies on your cards. They happen to be birthday cards, but you could really use them for any sentiment or any kind of theme, depending on the type of border die you have. Mine happen to all be a little birthday themed. So let's get started. So the border dies we are working with today, there's a couple of different ones. You can see I have a couple that are already set up, and we're going to die cut them, and then we're going to run through. I already have some prepped and ready to go. So these are these really, really cute dies. This one is coming from a company from TLC Designs, and I have that backwards again. And it comes with a border die, 2 different ones, and a little die cut out piece, which is what you see right here. And so here's the front one. And then this is another version that we're playing with. This one's a little bit bigger and thicker, and then it also has an outline die. We're not using the outline portion today. And as always, all supply links are down in the bottom. So first thing we're going to do, I already have these set up. They're really, really simple. So I'm going to get this going first. So what I have done is I've taken 3 sheets of paper, right? So I'm kind of getting a 3-for-1 deal on this card. And you can do a lot with how you're arranging them and how you're doing all that stuff. So what you do is you're going to, sorry, I'm just going to switch so I can see you guys if you make comments, because I've moved my camera for a minute. All right, I'm going to line up all 3 now. These are for A2 size cards. But if you've got a different kind of a border die, if you've got longer ones or whatever, you can make them for any slimline cards. It works for whatever. So I cut these down to be, if you're looking at the here, 1/4 of an inch less all the way around. So I'm going to line this up, and my die cut machine can run through 3 sheets of paper like no problem. So I'm running the die right down here, and I did go a little bit less, therefore I don't have a border issue. Now for this particular one, I'm running it completely vertical. So we're going to have a vertical card. For this card, and I just put the die on there, we're going to do it horizontally. So I just line these all up, so you have it lined up horizontally. And for the card that I did originally, I cut them on a diagonal. So when I laid it down on a diagonal, so it cut beautifully diagonally. So now we're just going to run these through. This is my crossover 2 machine. I love it because you get really, whoops, this guy came a little bit unwobbled. I have a metal plate because it just allows the die to get a little bit more of a tooth. It's gotten a little warped from using it a ton, but it still works awesome. And so place this on here, sandwich it in, and I can dial this up or dial this down, which means I can get a really good pressure. And I don't have to worry about the fact that, see, I'm trying to dial this down a whole lot. I'm a righty. There we go. Had to get through the hump. See, it's going to be hard. That's a little too much. I can't get that one through, so I'm going to do what I'm called dialing it up. So I'm going to back it out a minute. I went a little too tough on that. And now I'm going to score it out. Just basically make the rollers between the die a little bit easier. This one, you can tell it's done. Look, I barely needed to put any effort into it, and it cut through all of it. So I'm just going to move those off to the side and just worry about the last one. That was a workout. Okay. This barely cut through, so I'm just going to make sure that everything is still where it needs to be, and then run this guy through. Here we go. That was hard. Here we go. Get it through there. There we go. And then do a quick check, and I'm going to run it right back through again because it didn't quite, remember I changed the pressure a tiny bit. I like to run mine back through a couple of times. Just the more you run it through, the more it has a chance to really do its thing. And I'm sorry this is so loud. I almost cut my thumb off there. There we go. All right, did we get all the way through? This one might be a little more stubborn. This one's a little more stubborn. Some of it's cutting through and some of it's not. Let's try it one more time. And I'll dial it back down again. And that should help. So dial it back down all the way. There we go, and run it one more time. This would easily die cut. I'm trying to be fast and do 3 at one time. The little ones did great. You love your crossover. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Trying to be efficient. There we go. I think we're good. Look, it's all coming apart. It's really pulling apart here. So we're good to go. Let's get this big guy out of the way so we have room to groove. There we go. So that's the other part I love about it. Look how easy it was just to put away. Awesome. Okay. Sorry for all the noise. Okay, let's clean up our space. So now what we have is we have a series of dies or a series of cuts. So I'm going to pull this apart very gently. There we go. Very gently. There we go. Oh, that one ripped. I'm trying not to rip it. There we go. It's only the top one you have to worry about, right? So now you've got all these little pieces. So there's that. And these already popped out. So they're all in a layer right now. So I have 3 sections. And they're all stuck together. I have 3 little belly bands. And I just need to pop out the little sections here, right? And then I have all the colors. So here's this side. And then I have all of this side. So let's build one. Now that you see how that works, right? So simple. Okay, so we get our card. And the best part about this particular design, and I can go vertical, I can go horizontal. Let's put the example up here. This one's diagonal. So let's say I want to do a vertical card. So I'm going to pick one. I'm going to go for yellow on this one. And some of these are double-sided. So for instance, I could do this one, right? I could totally do, I'm totally off camera here. I could do this one right here. So I could go that direction, or I could flip it and I can go on this side with it. So I can play around with which colors I want. For this one, I'm going to do the yellow and I want to go this way with it. Okay, so I also could have set my border die. I kind of lined it up here. I also could have lined it up over here. So then I would have this side be thicker and this side be thinner. Lots of ways you can play around with that. So this one's going to go here. I'm going to run my tape runner on here. Oops, help it if I open my tape runner. Run this along here and then line this up. And then I just need to make sure I line this up quite nicely so it's the right size, right? There we go. And then if I'm going to run all these through, I might as well run it through all at the same time and make them all sticky. So I'm just going to pop out the little centers here. Now I could use the exact same. This, if you look at it, this looks like a little birthday cake. Think of all the fun color combinations you can make. You can just do black and white, black, white, and craft. This could be a wedding cake. That would be a really sweet wedding cake as an invitation, right? So that could totally be a wedding cake. And then here's the green. I think I'm going to use the pink on this one. So I'm just going to show you kind of like one example of each of how I set it up. But I can run a couple of these through at a time. So this is my Xyron sticker maker. I'm going to line this in here together, right? And I've already die cut out a whole bunch of the little cakes. So the dies, this is the die set. It has a little cake and a little ice cream cone that come with it. So I ran some of these little cakes in here and I happen to have this pretty color. So I ran that through as well. I don't think I did the pink. So I'm going to run a few of these through. Whoops. They're not run through yet, so they're sticking. Make sure you run them straight. So if you don't line this up just the way, if you run them like a little diagonally, they're not going to go through straight. So just pull this through. Make sure they catch. These guys are not wanting to catch. Catch, darn you. There we go. This one's being stubborn too. So see how they're pulling through? Oh, that one flipped over. It'll still work. And then I just keep on adding. So since I don't want to waste and use up all this awesome sticky, I'm just, every time I kind of pull through, I'm going to add another little piece that I want to add to a future card. There we go. So you just kind of make it run like that. And then you brush, brush, brush. There we go. And then I'm going to pull this part off. Voila. And I'm going to use the pink on this one. I could have run this one through, but I need to poke out the pieces and I didn't want to waste you guys' time on that. So now I'm going to line this up at the bottom because it's the same length. That's the beauty of running it all through at the same time. So now we have a contrasting color and it just pops out a tiny bit better, right? Just like that. And I got some schmutz on there or something. It's just a little bit of sticker or something. I don't know what the heck that thing is. So there it is. Look how cute. And so that's a really cute little border die. Look how fast and easy that card is. So now here's the best part. I got a whole stack of cards over here. They're all pre-perforated. These ones, the papers all came from close to my heart and the dies have all come from TLC Designs. So now with the other half, pretend this is the yellow, I can run this over on the other half. And just to show you a color change, I can do it this way. And so now I got a 2-for-1 card. Look at that. And so I can end up making 6 cards by running 1 die through. Ta-da! I love that. So it really does give you a lot of flexibility, and you're just changing up the colors. So it really changes up the look of just the 1 die with all 3 together. Now let's stamp it. So let's put this guy together, right? So let's check out that one. So I have these really, really cute stamps also from TLC Designs. And look, she's got these ones right here that are vertical. I love that. So today is the day. I think I'm going to use that one. And we're going to go vertical on that. So I need a stamp block because I don't have one out right now, which is dirty as anything. And then on the inside, I can totally do a stamp that says, today is the day, and I can say to your sweet or great hug or birthday or something like that. I can really play around with it. But because this is a vertical card, I want to have a vertical stamp sentiment on here. Are you out of focus? Is it my computer? I don't believe I'm out of focus. According to everything that I can see, I looked focus on my end. So I have a screen where I can see what I'm looking at right next to me, and everything looks pretty well focused on my side. So, and I don't have I have a pretty big screen where I blow it up to make sure I am decently in focused. So I hope that's okay. Okay, now we're gonna stamp. Sidetrack. We got a little sidetrack there. All right, we're gonna just do this one in black. So I have just some black ink. We're gonna come in, and then once I have this aligned, I'm just going to, today is the day right here. And then there it is, today is the day. And so for this one, I did a bulky one when you're sweet, and I totally messed up on a stamp. I had it roll over. So I put some sparkles on the way. I was like, I don't want to mess with that. So just think of all the different color combinations, taking that, and then you could do the green, right? You can have lots of fun. Now, if you wanted to, you could totally, let me just move these guys out of the way here. You could totally go in and you could take your card, and you could do all 3 layers, and you could do a pink. And since I have the matching pink. So this is another option. And then you take an alternate color. And so you can have a card that is like a sandwich, right? You don't have to do the white piece in there. So you could do a card that looks like this and then stamp in the corner on there. So that is another, and you could stamp here, you stamp along there. You could have a stamp that goes across. So you don't have to do just a half card like these are. You could do a full colored card with a strip. Or the other option is you could leave this little guy out. Oh, there's one piece I forgot to put on that card. I need to show you. You could do this. And then remember we pulled out, let's do this one. Just because I got it in front of us. Let's build this particular card. Just show you. I just won't stamp it tonight. So I'm going to show you how to build them. Stamping is, you can have all kinds of fun with where you put it. You could also leave the front completely blank. So I'm lining this up, right? Now I'm going to put adhesive on this side. So many fun ways that you can use these particular sets of dies. Run it this way. I'm going to put this in here just as a border, if that makes sense. That way I line this up exactly the way I want to. I'm not going to keep the green piece in there, but I want to line it up so it does line up perfectly. So it's kind of like my guide, right? All right, so that's on there. That's in. Pop the green thing out. And do you remember all those little ones that we die cut? Look at all these fun ones. Let's pull the teal one. And so now I can take the little cake and pop this in here like that. And there it is. Ta-da! So it's just a little something, a little hint of it. You can also take the card like this, and I can take the little piece, like that little cake. I can pop this out, and I can put it right over top, and it gives me another fun color right there, just like that. And so because it's a sticker, it made it super easy to go on. I did not add my ice cream cone on here, so I'm going to real fast, and I think I'm going to do it in the green. So it's just playing around with the colors, right? You can have fun with that. Really playing it around. So those are the skinny dies. Let's do another diagonal. So simple to do that, a diagonal. So let's change the angle that it's on. So I did the big side on this one. Let's do the skinny side, and let's do it in yellow. So another A2 size card. This time it's going to be a horizontal opening card. And we're going to line it up down at the bottom here like that. Let's put this guy over here so it's out of the way. So let's go ahead and run our adhesive on here. So Sorry, my daughter's showing me something. When she goes trick-or-treating, Catherine, was that a tip?
Yeah.
Was that a donation?
I got 3 tips, Nikki.
Was that a tip or was it a donation?
That was a tip.
It was a tip. So sometimes she gets tips. She's selling Girl Scout cookies. Sometimes she gets a tip, and sometimes, oh, you switched to your phone and now it's clear. Okay, well, maybe it was something on the screen. You got $3 worth of tips or donations?
I give 1 to more.
Awesome job. Now we're going to go in and I'm going to change up. We're going to do the green on here. All right, so pull this off and we are going to pop this on here. So this is the alternate piece that we cut. And it was the same thing that I showed you guys, except I cut on the diagonal. So now we've just alternated the direction of the card. Exactly the same. You could easily go in, if I could find the other half. There it is. And I could go in and I could do the top part if I wanted to and make it a full card. So you could easily go in and do a version like that if you wanted to. So many fun options. It's a blast. And then now you can add a stamp. You can run this another horizontal stamp. So let's say she's got a couple in here. So I hope you agree. So I could place, I'm just going to place the stamp on here just to show you. So pretend I'm stamping and you could say, I hope you agree. And it invites you to open up the card, right? So it's going, oh, what's in there? Or you could also place a stamp. You could do like celebrate up here in the corner. Or you could place celebrate along here. Or you could stamp down here as well in a nice dark color. Oops, stick down there. So lots of fun options of where you're placing the stamp. Okay, so let's do the other die. Let's check that out. Let's move these guys off to the side. So now we have this big fun one. Got to get this thick stuff off. So remember, we did the exact same thing. You know what? I'm not going to mess with the yellow for right now. We're just going to play with the other 2 colors. Because it's a peanut. Oh, there goes my dog. Bark, 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 bark. He's in the backyard. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with that. Just pretend that I die cut it out and it looks awesome. All right, so this one, it looks kind of funny just leaving the top. Like you don't see the rest of the design. So you use the bottom only, unfortunately. But you could come in and you can replace the top. So you just got to place that. And it creates kind of a fun border on the top there if you wanted to do that. So it does create kind of like a different thing. We're just going to use the bottoms for now. And I'm just going to do the green one because I don't want to spend the time to pop all these out in front of you because it's a pain, but you'll get the idea. It's the same concept. So now we have this, and there is a whole nother way to do the border dies with that extra die that comes with it. I could have lined this up on top and it would have given us a whole nother kind of direction with it. And therefore you could open up the cards and stuff. No offense, just wondering if the ink on the stamp block comes off even if it isn't cleaned often. You know what? It's an awesome question. It's not I don't take any offense to that whatsoever. That is a Tim Holtz says he never cleans his stamps ever. Like he just pops them right back on, and he is not a stamp cleaner at all. Never has been, never will be. It's not something he does. He could care less about cleaning his stamps. So it's up to you what you choose to do in terms of cleaning. Some people are very meticulous stamp cleaners and they want to. Now also keep in mind, Tim Holtz is a distressed person. So when he stamps, he likes to have kind of that grungy. And so if the colors mix and they're blending and they're doing all those things, he doesn't mind if there's a little bit of a residual color left behind from the previous color. He's totally cool with that. In terms of getting a clean stamp, no, it doesn't make any difference. Whatever, the oopsie I made on this one was, and I'll show you because it's on the stamp block, which I stuck somewhere, and aha. There's a portion of this particular stamp right here that is sticking up, and when I pushed it into the ink, I pushed too hard on that side, and then when I stamped it down on there, I stamped with that ink on there. So if I didn't smush it as much into my stamp, I wouldn't get that impression. And I actually, practiced it. Where's my practice piece of paper? Well, it was, oh, here it is. I practiced the stamp right before just to see if the colors would match, because I was trying to match, because I used this lagoon color, which is really pretty. And so I was matching, and I just pushed too hard. It was purely just a pushing factor on my end. I was trying to get a nice clean, even though I did it clean on that end. So it has nothing to do with, there's no ink left on me, minimal ink, but it's not going to be any kind of a factor in terms of getting a clean stamp. The only difference would be is if you don't want to blend your colors. So hopefully that answered your question. Oops, now we're sticking. Okay, so now I'm gonna pull this part off. There we go. So this one's a little different because it's a much bigger, thicker die, and it did die cut everything in half, but it die cut it so that you really can't use the top unless you want to make the sandwich look. But I just love the look of this whole piece right here. I just think it looks so pretty because there's lots of elements. So I'm going to place this directly onto my card. I turn that whole thing into a sticker so that I don't have to worry about trying to get little bits of glue. And I can even raise this up and make this a little bit bigger because I'm not worried about how tall this is. I just need to worry about side to side and making sure it goes on straight and not crooked and wonky. So there we go. And then place all that on there. And if you have any little, I call like sticky bits left over, just run your finger through. So right here, I've got a couple little sticky bits right through here. And so I just kind of run and it just pulls right off. And so it just creates a really, really cute border at the bottom of your card. So there you go. And so super simple to use the dies. Here's the one that's still stuck on here. So you can see, look at this super cute. Sorry, it's like I don't want to rip the paper. I've had it happen before. And you're like, I spent all that time paying, you know, so close attention, try and get this beautiful die. And you're like, Now I want to show you one more thing that you can do with this, which is just, I'm going to really quickly. So here is our yellow one, right? And so we have another card and I did die cut off. There we go. So let's do the confetti one. Oh, there goes the doggy again. So let's say I wanted to have a background like this. So you could come in and you could do this and then you kind of see it coming through there. So it creates another little extra something. Because it's so white, it's not as obvious. But let's take, of course, I have no other colors. So the color that I chose to show you, let's just do it with, oh, this one's pink. Aha, here we go. This is the right size. I thought I had another one. So let's go back with our yellow. Here we go. And so then you can line this up and then you get a fun little pink background. So you get the white border of the card. You're not just laying it on the card and just using a white, you know, that you can. Super simple to do that. But you can also go in and just border it on another color and really enjoy that. If you wanted to, and this is like being super meticulous and it really depends on how detail orientated you want it to be. So when you die cut all these out, and this die is a little too meticulous for me to want to do this, but I'm just saying it depends on the person. If that's your jam, where's all the rest of the pieces? You could take the bits and pieces. There's another color that was green. And so for instance, like these green bits, you could go in and you could meticulously, and I would never do this, truthfully, to myself. Here's a green one. And you could do some. So like this little wavy piece, you could inlay this back in. I think I have this upside down. But you could inlay little bits of colors back inside of there like that. So you could have little pops of fun colors. That's a lot of work, but you can do that. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you just did hits and misses of colors. So, I mean, they're all stuck together right now. So it's kind of a pain to find them because they're just literally, it's pieces like this. So that's really stinking meticulous if you want to achieve that, but it does look really cool. So here's another one. You can just give you the idea. And I would run it through the sticker maker and turn them into little stickers and be done. And so there's that, or you could use glue. I think sticker maker. So just, it's a little pop of color here and there. A few oddballs here and there would look really sweet. Stamp down here, stamp at the top. You can kind of play with that. Make this a black background, really make it pop. You can have a ton of fun with that. So border dies are super fun because you can get a lot of cards with one die cut. This one you only get one just because the way it's designed, the way it is. But this guy, this one just wants to pop up. I'm just gonna add a little, I don't think I rubbed my hand there. Problem solved. If you just do a singular die like this and you just do the one side, you can get 2 cards in one. So if you're mass producing, which if you guys still want to join my card swap, we are going strong. I think we have up to 30 people that have joined and it's all birthday cards. And guess what all these cards are going to go towards? You can go vertical, you can go horizontal. You can do both. A little too high there. You can do both parts of it. You can add the strip and just half of it and add your stamp. You can also go diagonal on it. So many fun ways that you can play with these dies. So again, we have 3 separate dies that these ones have come from TLC Designs. They're super fun and there's so many fun options. So these are, this is the little ice cream cone right here. So you can see, and it's got a really fun border to it. So here's the ice cream cone. And then this is the little cake one, right? And then they have little pieces. And then this last one, which I shoved over here somewhere. Still stuck to my paper. Here we go. Here is the last one right here. And this is a really cool birthday one, which gives you this gorgeous design right here. It's absolutely stunning. And then you get, so here's the pink version. I just have to cut all the pieces out. And then here's the yellow version that I did. And that this one also comes with the top portion. So you could go through and I could have lined this up on the top and I could cut out the top piece. And therefore I wouldn't layer. It's too late to do this now. But basically, here we go. If I lined this guy up here, and when I lined them all up together, right, I could have lined this guy up on top. Flip, flip, flip. Here we go. And it fits right on top. I just got to find, I got to line it up. There we go. So you just line it up and it would have cut it. So when I put this piece on the pink, I could have put a different color on top. So I could have had a 3-color. So you would see all the little bits and pieces inside there. You would have the color here, and you would also have the color on the top of your card. So it would be 3 separate colors, and that's what you can use this little piece for. So you can create the sandwich, kind of like what we did with this card, with these cards. So just to show you that there's that option as well. I didn't do that for this video because I ran out of time. My daughter was hell-bent on going and doing her Christmas cookie or her Girl Scout cookies, and that took up a lot of time to go do that. So I ran out of time to get things cut out, and I should have just popped this on there, but my mind was not 100% there. It was Christmas, or not Christmas. I keep saying Christmas cookies. No, okay. It was Girl Scout cookie time. It's been one crazy day. It's always a crazy day at my house, I tell you what. So thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed it. I will have the finished pictures up on the thumbnail once the video is all done. And also they'll go up on Instagram shortly. It's kind of, I get there. I do my Instagram thing. I'm not the best. And their photos, she shows up on Facebook again. So you can find me on Erin Reed Makes, all of my sites. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Again, you can find all the links for the products. The papers, the inks are all from Close to My Heart, and then the stamps and the dies, which super, super cute stamp set. I mean, this little guy's awesome. Lots of awesome stamps, vertical stamps, horizontal stamps, kind of square stamps. So many options for that. You can find that at TLC Designs. It's a nice little small mom and pop shop, and she does an amazing job of creating and designing. So thanks again. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to out there and just create, get creative. It is amazing. It is so soothing to the soul. It really does help you feel better just by getting out there and doing something creative, whatever it might be, coloring, stamping, just die cutting, something that makes you smile and feel happy. That's what this is all about, making yourself feel happy. And then passing the happiness along, but especially with a card. It makes it so awesome. So thank you again. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again later. Bye, everybody.